inspired to write Where Things Come Back when I heard a story on the radio about a thought-to-be-extinct woodpecker re-emerging and being sighted in a small town in Arkansas, and it made me think about faith and hope and second chances, and I sort of got the idea that I would put a teenager in a town where something like this was happening. I think I was most comfortable telling the story about what it feels like to be isolated and lonely and confused in a small town in the South, because that is where I grew up. I grew up in a small town in Louisiana, not very far from the setting of the novel, and I felt very comfortable telling a story about being a teenage boy who is very unsure of where his life's going and if he can survive being where he's from. I just knew that I had to tell this story, and I'm so thrilled that it has found love from adults and teenagers alike. And I'm so glad that it seems to have a little bit of crossover appeal. I actually think this is a really good time for YA books, and almost maybe a turning point, if I can be so brave as to say that. But I think we're seeing authors taking a lot more risks and tackling a lot more difficult subject matter, and I think that YA books, to me, have an obligation to connect with a reader. And if our readers are young adults, then I feel like our stories should, above all else, find some common ground with those young adults. And sometimes that means tackling the difficult, hard subjects. And sometimes it also means addressing things that some people might not like or might not want to accept. But I think it's very important to keep that honesty there. This was the first book I ever finished, the first book I ever got published, and it's something that I worked for a long time on, and something that I really, really believed in. And so to get the validation from the outside world, from critics and librarians especially, it feels really great. And it's really great to know that I hopefully have chosen the right career, and that all the sacrifices I've made to become an author have maybe been for a good reason.